So you just bought Budokai Z, and everything's kind of overwhelming you, and you don't know where to begin or what you should properly be doing. Well, I'm here to kind of hopefully explain a little bit and put things into motion by showing you a new slot that I've recently started. So let's get right into it. Before I forget, make sure you go to the Trello in the description. This is the wiki pretty much. This is going to be your best friend, especially starting out. So after you finally edit your character and load in, you're greeted with the tutorial. The first 3 pages tell you about how you should gain a space pod, and the safest way of doing so is doing beginner quests. Before this though, the menu shows a good amount of basic controls. Showing you what does what. Basic things like blocking, sleeping, how to fly, descending, ascending, simple stuff. After this, we simply learn to fly. Now, these show little mini games that hint at what the gym will be like in the future and give you a little power at the start. So hey, it's something. After you learn to fly, the game shows basic controls, like doing light attacks, blocking 3 times, and then you fight your shadow. When you fight your shadow, it goes into depth a little bit more about how fighting works, how you could do combo strings with 4 light attacks and finishing it with a heavy, among the other things like vanishing, blocking, and countering, especially recover when you get knocked back. Once you complete your shadow, it tells you to go to the quest board. Now, this is when you can test your luck pretty much on if you want to do intermediate and risk getting jumped, or just do beginner quests and maybe do 10 of them and get a good amount of zeni. I chose to do intermediate because my power was a little bit higher since I was a sphinx, but the choice is really up to you. Now, this next part only really applies to the people on new slots who spawned on Netflix, like I did, the Jenga world. And if you did, you'll want to go and get the antidote for this girl's sick sister. And it's a very simple quest. You just go over, talk to her, and she's like, "Oh no, my sister needs help. Please talk to the doctor." You simply just say you go find the doctor, and it's very cut and dry. You fly over a couple blocks, and you go talk to the doctor. Hooray! We got her antidote. So, after you do this, simple, gives you like 1,000 zeni. Easy money. Easy money for like 2 minute quests. So after getting about 3,000 zeni, you're going to want to get your space pod. But after this, you're going to want to go into your skill menu here. Once you do that, you're going to see a few things. You're going to see your character stats, and you're going to see all these other skills. Now, you should have 3 points, and with these points, you can invest it into your character stats, or you could buy a couple points here. Now, I decided to buy Sledgehammer and Key Blast, but what you want right now for sure is Key Flight and Key Sense at least. If you can, get Power Control as well, but that's depending on if you're high enough level yet. I was, but my power gain and start was way better. So you got to take that into account, and yours could not have been as lucky. After this is where I buy Ki Blast, and I get confused over Energy Wave, which is a item you get from Krillin, at least the scroll. It's a move you learned from Krillin, I should say. But I get Sledgehammer, and I can't afford Fist Barrage. So, that's the best I could do right now with the points I have. So, I equipped them, and I'm headed to Earth. To go to your space pod, you simply just go to your inventory and boom, right there. There it is. You spawn it in, and boom. Ta-da! Your first ship landing. Good milestone. It's everybody has it, and I mean, I could have just left because of my race, because I can breathe in space, but not everybody can. And plus, space pods are faster. So, this is just a good thing to start out with and go to. So, when we get to space, I'll show you where we're going. Don't know what was up with the game here not showing space, but that planet there is Vampa. That one there is Majin, the pink one. Blue one is Polaris. Earth is Earth. The red one is Vegeta. Green is Namek. The brown one that I came from is Django. Now, we're going to Earth because this is where we gotta get a few quests done. Mostly for the money right now because we're dirt ass poor, but that's okay. We're gonna get our money up just a little bit. Now, depending on where your space pod depends to land, you could get lucky or you could get unlucky. I got decently lucky landing decently in the middle of Capsule Co. So, my first plan of action is to get Senzu beans and do Krillin and Master Roshi's quests. Don't take long, but if you want, you can pop by the gym, see your power level, because Bane actually fixed them. They were broken for the longest time. I'm sorry. Had to get that one out. But yeah, I was 5.52k with me fighting NPCs and my luck was spawning in. After this, I go to Master Corrin's, and this part is very slow with your character just starting to, learn to fly. But it's a process, but I'll put it on 2x speed so you can at least get an idea and you can slow it down yourself. Yeah, how'd you like that sick editing? Alright, but now we got Corrin here. Now, he's gonna be bitching and moaning because, he can't get a job and he's trying to steal shit, right? So, he grubs you out of 500 zeni, but this is the best 500 zeni you're ever gonna spend because Corrin gives you 5 senzu beans, and every 12 or 24 hours, I don't know, it kind of flip-flops, he gives you 5 more. He never stops. After this, he tells you how long it's going to take, but there's another option if there's anything you can do in the meantime. Now, this is for the Ultra Divine Water. Now, you're going to want to do this as soon as you can, just for the fact that you have it. Now, I don't suggest drinking it right off the bat, because it's a very good way of getting your power back if you are wiped and sent to King Kai's or whatever, or you send yourself to King Kai's. It's a good way to get your power back, and it's 1.3 times your latent power. So if you do drink it early on, make sure your latent power bar is full. You have to make sure it's full. You can get it full by fighting your shadow apparition. Once you get there, creepy shadow man is gonna be like, "Ooh, do you have what it takes, young warrior?" And you're gonna tell him, "Yeah." And I always pick "so be it," because when I'm feeling lucky seems too cocky and I don't want to risk it. You get the water. Now, after this, I finally do Roshi's quest. It's another simple one. Go talk to Roshi. Go get his manga. Same deal, different guy. Except it's not medicine this time. It's his beloved manga! Or manga! You gotta go get my One Piece! You can see that Bane, the game developer, did make a One Piece. Har har. Grab that manga, fool. Oh yeah! Sorry for the dumb cut. But basically, you're gonna want to go to Goku next and do his quest. Unfortunately, my recording must have bugged out and got corrupted because I remember recording it. And this is also the same thing with the first stage in gym. So, what you'll want to do first is Goku, so you can get a little bit of more money. But, yeah, show you where he is quick. Now, Goku's quest is a lot similar to Master Roshi's. You simply talk to him, accept his quest, get the item, come back to him. Now, I messed up, and this is recording of me just trying to get the Kamehameha. But, yeah. You're gonna want to do Goku's quest, and then after that, go to the gym. Now, this is footage taken by at this point when I was doing Stage Mastery 2 and 3, but I wanted to at least show a little bit of what the mini games look like and where you should go. Now, when you speak to Hercule the first time, he will give you a free 15-minute pass. And with this pass, you can get 2 mastery stages done on each piece of equipment. Now, I could only do the first stage because I did it early on, but that got me to around 15k, and I was able to get Kamehameha, and energy wave. But yes, this is map. This is the mat training, and so on and so forth. Very simple mini games where if you get the hang of them really quick, you can really pump in that mastery stage and really use in every single cent of that zeni. Alright, this next part is if you want different clothing or perhaps even weights, if you're lucky. Raids will spawn every hour, and if you're strong enough, maybe you could fight it and maybe cheese it, and if you even if you get knocked down, as long as somebody doesn't grip you, you can come back and fight them and they don't regen. So if you want to try it, you can, and if you complete it, you get a chest, and when you open this chest, you get a chance of getting a clothing, weight, so on and so forth. This is how you get your weights, so you get better gains, but this is also how you get your clothing items, like you could see on my guy here. I recorded this as I'm editing it because I forgot to get footage of raids, but yeah, you could do this when you get a beam. I would suggest wait till you get a beam to do raids. Until then, we're going to go to the next part. Now, the two weights, Weeded Gay and Hermit Shell, you're going to want to keep your eye out for in raids, like the last segment showed. If you're not powerful enough to fight them, don't worry, you can still get the Demon Cape. You can buy that from Capsule Corporation by just going in and hopefully seeing it there. It's about 1500 zeni, and yeah, it's about a 1.5 BP multiplier. If that's the only thing you can get it. It's better than nothing. After the first stage of gym, you can get Energy Wave at Kamehameha. If you can get Destructo Disc, you might as well get it too. If you can unlock them with the skill points, you should hopefully get Limit Break from the gym. If not, you will for doing your weather training. So after you get your scrolls. Now, the last thing you want to do before you leave Earth is, if you have 1500 zeni left over, you're going to want to go over to Bulma here and basically activate her shop. Get her shop going, because you're going to want to buy the weights from Bulma. Now, you're only going to want to use weights when you're limit breaking or in the hyperbolic time chamber. If you use them any other time, you're not going to get the best gains out of them, and you're just going to waste them. Every weight has a stage mastery, and when you get to stage 4 and master them, that's it. You can no longer put the weights on. So grab yourself some weights and head out in your space pod. Alright, now the first planet you're going to want to go to is Polaris. This is the blue planet, and it's kind of looks like Saturn, but this is where the Acrosians come from, and this is where you want to go first so you can master weather. Now, once you land at Polaris, this is where you can either immediately get to training or you can go and get food. Now, food is very important, especially early on, because you will get bonuses for training. Now, food is pretty simple. Protein gives you boost for your shadow, and carbs give you a boost for leeching. Now, the main three foods you're going to be seeing are rice bowl, manga meat, and pork bun. Now, pork bun is your standard run-of-the-mill food. It's the cheapest one. It gives you a protein and carb boost, so this boosts your shadow gains and leech. Manga meat is the best protein. That'll do 45% of your latent bar, and it'll last 5 minutes. Gives you a 10% leeching boost. Rice bowl is the best one for leeching, aka carbs. It takes away, gives 33% of your latent bar. Now, after you've gotten your food, pork bun or manga meat, what have you, you want to beat the shit out of your shadow, preferably when it's snowing. Now, you'll know when your character is affected by the weather, when you can see like their breath, like the heat from their breath, and your fatigue is rising. Those are the main ways of seeing if you're still being affected by the weather. Gravity is pretty simple. You see like the gravity lines kind of pulling you down. So, it's pretty self-explanatory. Now here I do it until I get 100% of my latent bar after I limit break. And I suggest you do that too, because it's a really good way of getting gains, and it's just, you might as well do it. Now, if you're Saiyan and you're trying to fill your latent bar all the way up before you zenkai, keep in mind that eating will get rid of your latent bar. So, if you eat like a pork bun, that'll do 10%. That really isn't that bad. It's very manageable. But if you can't get rid of your latent bar by zenkaiing or whatever, your best bet is to just pop a food, get your bonus up for 5 minutes, and then fight until you're 100%. Or use pork buns, because it is possible to get to 100%. It just takes way longer. And it's already like a 30 to 40 minute process.
羽ばたいたら戻らないと言って目指したのは青い青いあの空悲しみはまだ覚えられず切なさは今掴み始めたあなたへと抱くこの感情も今言葉に変わってく未知なる世界の夢から目覚めてその羽を広げ飛び立つ羽ばたいたら戻らないと言って目指したのは青い青いあの空突き抜けたら見つかると知って振り切るほど青い青いあの空青い青いあの空青い青いあの空
Now by this point I have 80% built up, and I'm thinking that my power Catnap works like Zenkai, and it doesn't. It works how you gotta eat and then sleep it off. That's how my ability works, but with Zenkai you just need to get to 96% fatigue and then sleep till 0. And then it clears your latent bar and it boosts it by whatever default you're saying is. You can find that out on the Trello, or by looking in your skill tree. Either or. You need to unlock it beforehand though. And if you are wondering why your latent bar isn't going up, the gear I have on is the best gear to have. So I'm kind of cheating in that aspect of, being a beginner or trying to show you the ropes. But that and my power gain is 1.4, starting out as this Sphinx. But even then, it still took time, and it's going to take you time. Now, if you're not fortunate by this point to have a Saiyan slot, or be a Saiyan at this point, you will not be able to Zenkai, and it's going to take a little bit to get your latent bar. So, my best bet, I suggest to you, is to do the intermediate missions, where you could fight NPCs. This gets rid of your latent bar, and you can get money to eat more food and get rid of your latent bar. Now, it's up to you really if you want to stay on the planet and use that food bonus and then get whatever latent power you think you could get with that. Go right ahead. You need to get 100% anyway with the next planet we're going to. Now this next one is based upon solely which planet your character or race comes from. Now, if you were a Jiren character or Django, you would spawn a Netfis. Now, this is where I spawned, so where I would want to go is Vampa. Now, I could go to Vegeta too, but I chose not to. I went to Vampa to get that weather and gravity trained and mastered, just because that is the best planet for it. Um, However, if you are not from Netfis, you will want to go there after Polaris instead of Vampa. And then after you have completed your training with the weather on there, you could go to Vampa. Once you're at Vampa, it's going to be the same old rinse and repeat cycle. You're going to just want to fight your shadow to 100% and you've mastered the weather and gravity. Then, simply, get back in the space pod. We have to go to Namek. Remember to keep your latent bar at 100% to get the max boost from what we're doing. Then all you gotta do is simply fly on over to the green big old planet Namek. Hard to miss, very easy to spot. Alrighty, once you land, you want to head towards the area that has the tallest mountain. Luckily, I got lucky and landed by it. But what you want to do is head to the bottom. And this is where you're going to find Nail, and he is going to give you the quest to unlock your latent power like in the show. Now, you will need a senzu bean for this. This is why we stopped at Earth first mainly. Just so we could get that and skills. But you talk to Nail, he said you have to have neutral or good karma. If you have bad karma, if you've been killing people, no, shame on you, number one. Number two, you won't be able to do this. So, you simply give him a senzu bean, and then he tells you that the Frieza force has been attacking the planet, and they need help. Now, pretty much, the Frieza part after quest is a little bit optional, but it does reward you with power. So it's really stupid to skip it, but you can if you want. I don't know why you would. After finishing his talk, he tells you to go meet with Grandmaster Mori. This is where he is, at the top of the mountain. You simply go talk to him. He tells you that he can awaken your latent power so you can have a chance at the Frieza Force. And with this, you will 100% have a chance against the Frieza Force, especially the NPCs that spawn over there. And yeah, after talking to Nail, he tells you to go defeat some soldiers. Now, if you want to make it faster, you go over to this one. I certainly just ran around until they blasted me, and then I just hit them with a destructive disc and energy wave. If you do this normally, this is the best way to just speed through enemies. And by this point, you would be the same level as me a little bit, like maybe a couple thousand behind. So you should be doing these numbers on them as well. But simply just defeat all the mini bosses after the 10 soldiers, and then you have yourself a little bit extra power, like 5,000. Counting all the different ones, telling you to defeat someone, some fourth. And then you got the latent boost, which was a 1.3 times boost, I believe. And yeah, as you can see, I got a limit break. So after this, I'm going to limit break. I don't know what I was thinking here when I limit broke on Namek, but I could have just went to Polaris and had better results and still been close to Earth, because that's where I go next to check my power. Once you made it to Earth, simply fly over to the gym, punch the box, and bam, you find out your power. Now, this is the most important part. If you are over 100,000, we could go into the next part of the tutorial. If not, you're going to have to train a little bit more, buddy. And doing this training, you could just do stage 2 and 3 in the gym, get to 100k, it doesn't matter. Just get to 100k. Now, the reason I say you need 100k power is because you need to go into the gravity chamber. The gravity chamber is your best way of gaining power, period. It's the best way to get power. You need to go into gravity chamber mainly to gain power so you can master the gym equipment. Once you master the gym equipment, you can do the daily. This makes it so you have a quest that makes you do 10 reps on every single piece of equipment. This gives you normally 5,000 every piece of equipment. However, with the gravity chamber, it goes up to 300 times. At 300 times, you get 25,000 every gym equipment. So, in total, you get 100,000 from the daily in the gravity chamber. Now, afterwards, you could choose to fight your shadow or do the robots in there. Now, depending on your power gain, if you're not over 1.55, you're better off just doing the robots. But it's up to you. The only way you're going to find out is by testing it yourself. Like I said before, to enter the gravity chamber, you need 100,000 power, but you also need 15,000 zeni. So, if you don't have that zeni, go do a couple quests, go do whatever, but you gotta make sure that you have 15,000 to do the gravity chamber. So if you master the gravity on Vampa, you can already go up to 10 times gravity already. This is footage from a time where I already did one chamber, so I was able to get 100 up to 100 times gravity in one chamber. Now, to do this, you want to go up by 10 times gravity every time you've mastered it. This is the fastest way you can do it, and it's just the most simple way. But for right now, until we have the daily, this is the best we can do. We can do robots for 25 minutes, or until it kicks me off, and then shadow. Doing this still gives you roughly around 60 to 80k BP or power, so it's still a good thing either way, and it's just a plus for when you get your gravity mastered. If you so choose as well, you can do your gym equipment in here because your gains are increased. They are increased in here with the gym equipment. So if you were to do a mastery stage, it would give you more than doing it in the regular Earth gym. So that is also up to you. But either way, robots is the best for gravity. So if you're trying to get your gravity training to 300, do robots. But if you're trying to go for power, then do your mastery in the chamber. And until you get the daily, that's it. That is my best way of getting you at least started. Now, after this point of doing your first gravity chamber, you're gonna start hitting a slow incline on power, and you are gonna expect it. So what I suggest is getting Dragon Balls. Now, if you get Dragon Balls before you are 1 million in power, you can wish for more power. 50,000 to be exact. Now, I used to think these went the power you wished for went away, but I was wrong. The wish itself goes away at 1 million. So you can no longer wish for any more power, but you still keep it. So, abuse this while you can, and that's a good way to just get power. Best way to get Dragon Balls is through raids, and I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Besides that, it's shadow. Do your shadow training, eat your manga meat or senzu beans if you're a bio android or Namek. But yeah, that's all I got for you. That's the best I could do. Don't harp on me too hard. I tried my best. New update put a lot of stuff in here, so I'm sure I missed a lot of things. Be sure to refer to that down in the comments for other people, and I'll try to get that comment up there so everybody can see it. But with that, I'd like to bid you farewell. Happy training. Stay away from them boos and bios.